What's up, WDG fam? It's your girl, Danisha. I'm back here with my husband, Steve. And I appreciate you guys joining us again for another couples edition. Listen, it's something I just want you to think about for our discussion today. How do you prepare for the unexpected? I mean, we say the vows, we look at each other in the eyes for better or for worse, for richer, for poor, for sickness and health. But when the fire really hits, are you prepared to stand? And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight, because every marriage is going to be tested. Again, so glad that you guys are back with us for another couples edition. And if you all are like me, I always like to know a person's testimony. I love seeing the success. I love seeing a successful marriage, successful relationship, but I want to know, what's your story? What's your story behind your testimony? Yeah. And every relationship, every marriage, they have a point in time or several points in time where that they really go through something and their relationship is really tested. And so we want to let you guys in on, one of those major points in our relationship, and let you guys in on what that process was like, and how we made it through. So that's what we're getting ready to jump into.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to let you start, babe, and take them on that journey, of one of the hardest, trying times in our marriage.
Okay. Even though it's a testimony that it can be used for somebody else to learn from, and we didn't like talking about this, with the trauma that occurred during this time. It's something that still is with me. But every time I talk about this, I get emotional, and
I'm right here, babe. I got you, boo.
I know. So I'm trying to talk about this, and and call me as I can. But if I push, I'm a sense of change, please,
That's all right.
Don't hold it against me. We were about to buy a house, and to stay money, to make sure we had enough money for the house. We moved into my brother's house, but then Anisha, who still is the breadwinner at the time, because I have a full-time in the ministry. She does her job. We had to leave by our own. What's it called?
You said we had to do what?
We had to move.
Yeah, we had to move from your brother's
Yes,
house.
but it was our choice. But we didn't have anywhere to go, so we must stay in. Was it a comfort inn, or was it?
For a short time.
But staying under comfort inn wasn't good for us financially. So I asked my brother, can we stay for the weekend? But then God had told me said to me that we need to move on. And I was like, why or where are we going to move on? A couple of times, he had to sleep in a jeep. And that was a rough time for me, because as a man, you want to protect your family, and I felt guilty that's because I knew our situation, and God has explained it to us. But when you hit something that has been homeless, as a man, you never done to take your family through that. But that I did. I will be sleeping in our jeep one night. He was alone.
It's like a couple nights.
Yeah. And I never went to sleep. And I just kept asking God what do I do? And he showed me that we could go to the more taxis. It was affordable, and we were able to have a place to stay. But the stress from living there made me eat. And my favorite food at the time was hamburgers. And I ate hamburgers no tomorrow, because hamburgers made me feel good. And in that situation, I needed something that made me feel good. Not even knowing that I should have trusted God a whole lot more. But at the time, during the situation, you really can't see. And one Wednesday, I sat outside the hotel room, and I just was begging God and asking Him for my forgiveness. And I just let it on the line. But then He said, "It's okay, son. I'll take care of it." That Friday, I had the flu. You hadn't said me.
No, I was going to tell the story about what happened.
Friday. Did it go too fast?
No, you were fine. I just was going to paint the picture about what happened that Friday. Go color it in a little bit.
Yeah, color. Okay, just go ahead.
I'm just going to say, like when I came, home was the Motel 6 at the time. So when I came home from work, I was working at the time. Came home from work, and you were complaining that your head was hurting really bad, and you said, probably sinus. Asked me, could I go get you some sinus medicine? We went to the store, got your sinus medicine, and you were saying that it really didn't help that much.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, all right, you probably got to sleep it off or whatever. And then, so eventually, you went to bed. We both went to bed, and then about midnight, next thing I hear is a big thump on the floor. You fell out the bed.
Yeah.
And I asked you, was you okay? And you was like, I'm okay. Give me some water. And when I come back, I'm trying to talking to you, but you're really not talking clearly. And then I'm trying to help you up, which that's a whole nother situation because I'm teeny, and I'm like, Lord, how I'm gonna help him? How's I gonna help him off the floor,
Yeah,
Jesus?
and at the time, I weighed 255 pounds. So this big 255-pound dude and this little 105 woman trying to pick me up.
Yeah, so my prayers started right then, trying to figure out how was I gonna help you. But what I noticed something was wrong when I was trying to help you. You were pushing me away. It was really weird. It was like you weren't yourself. I'm trying to help you and you were pushing me away, and I was like, this is strange. And I'm trying to talk to you, and then your words are not clear. And then eventually, this was almost 9-10 years ago. So I think you just kind of went out, and I was like, Lord, what in the world is going on? And for a small second, which I believe was the Holy Spirit, I heard stroke. But I just disregarded that so fast. I was like, it ain't no stroke. This probably, I don't know what's going on, but it's not a stroke. But anyway, the next thing was calling the ambulance, going to the hospital. One of the family got the boys, and going to the hospital. And the next thing I know, you're unconscious, laying there with tubes, and the doctor is like, if you have a chance at making it, that you need to go to Georgetown where specialists are to have an operation on your brain because you had a stroke.
Yeah.
And so, this is one of those things like you really don't, how do you prepare for one that night? I'm talking to you normal, everything is cool. Yeah. And the next time I see you, the doctor is saying if you're going to have a chance of surviving, that you have to go to the hospital, and that you had a stroke.
Yeah.
So what was it like for you when you realized what happened? Like, when you really realized you had a stroke and you were in the hospital?
I didn't know until I woke up from the coma. And even when I woke up from the coma, I wasn't able to
cognitively?
Yes. Oh my God. Be aware of what was going on. I mean, I saw Danisha and the front desk. And I said, "Ooh, man, look at who is that? She just so fine."
Flirting. Didn't even know I was his wife.
Yes. I said, "Ooh."
But he get a pass only.
I said, "Ooh." I said, okay, all right. She fine. And then she was coming towards me, my room. I said, "Oh man." What am I gonna say? And when she came in the room though, and said, "Hey, babe, man," that's when it all.
It hit you that you were married.
Yeah, I was married, to my princess, and a whole bunch of emotions just hit me. I was crying. I was slacking and everything.
I remember that, and I remember you really crying and breaking down, and the nurse had came in, and she was like, "It's okay, Mr. White," and I was trying to figure out. I knew the situation overall was rough on you, but I was trying to figure out where the tears come from. Was it just like, did it just hit you of what really happened? I didn't know because, at that time you had been in a coma for several weeks, and 2, you weren't able to talk at that time. So I was trying to figure out like what was the tears, what caused that. But I get it from what you're saying now, that that you, I guess, started remembering. Or
Yeah, and what really made me worse was I felt guilty for placing my family in that situation. Okay, you gotta think, you already living in a hotel, and I had a stroke. All I can think about is what's going to happen to my family.
Yeah, and I think for men too. I mean, women, of course, we carry mommy guilt, or our own guilt of trying to be perfect time, or trying to meet every need of our family. But men, I don't think y'all give yourself permission. Y'all not taught that until much later. Like, that's crazy to me. It makes sense, but the first emotion that you felt was guilt, not sadness. Of course, I know you went through that too. Not pain, but the first emotion you felt was guilt.
Yeah. I was thinking that I really can be a husband to Danisha.
That's okay. That's all right.
I was thinking about my mini son Joshua. I was gonna teach him how to swim. Can you do that anymore? Can you get him to?
Oh, I'm sorry, baby. Take your time, baby.
I'm really be aiming to teach my baby boy how to about swimming. I couldn't play basketball with him no more. Me and all 3 of them used to wrestle. I couldn't do that no more. It's a lot of things. I thought of I can take my family on vacation, because what do they have to do for me? I felt so happy. I felt so helpless. So after Danisha left, my mother came to see me. I started crying. Okay. Ready to meet to rehab. I had a hard time sleeping. Sometimes I would try myself to sleep. Sometimes I would go to sleep alone. the enemy will say, just die, just die. But all I can remember is that, yea, though I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Thou art with me.
Yes.
So I will do online, and Denise and met up with some of the therapists, and the lady was talking to me, and it wasn't until I could talk, and me and my therapist were good friends, that it say, Mason, man, you come a long way, but when you first got here, man, you were so mean. But I really wasn't angry at them. I was angry at me. And so, yeah.
So, I mean, this is, those things in marriages that you really don't know or how to prepare for it, because you're not expecting something this to happen, especially at the time you were like 39 or 40.
Yeah.
And I'm in my 30s. I'm not thinking that in my 30s that my 40-year-old husband is going to have a stroke and have to learn to walk and talk and all of that again. This is just things you don't think that will happen, but sometimes it does. And I thank God for just my faith in Him, because it was like I was in a bubble almost until we got out of it.
Yeah.
It was like God was literally like carrying me. Yeah, there were a lot of painful moments, but it was like everything happened so fast. I didn't have time. I don't remember a lot of days where I went home and cried. It was just like I just like couldn't have time for that. It was like, get up, make sure the kids go to school, go to work, get the kids. Wanted to be there for you because I want to see you. Mm-hmm. I want the kids to see you. I don't want you to feel like you're alone, like you're forgotten about. And it was like that survival, every day.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I held on to the promise. God told me that you were going to come out of this, right?
Yeah.
And I just thank God that I could hear Him, because that's what kept me, And I think the part of the worst of it was the 3 weeks where you just were in a coma, and like, how do you prepare for that? Like, to see your husband just laying there lifeless.
Yeah.
And I'm holding on to this promise from God, and family and friends, and I can't blame them, because from what it looked like, it didn't look good.
Yeah.
And so, I had a few family that was on the same page and like, what, he's going to come out of it. But basically, I felt like I was by myself, and like, God, I know you're going to do it. I don't know when. And so I just thank God for my faith.
Yeah.
And, and the foundation that we had. Because I remember when I would go up there, the nurses would say to me all the time, like, your husband is so blessed, and That's good that you're sticking around. But after a while, I realized that they have seen situations where a spouse got sick and the spouse left.
Yeah.
That's why they were saying that, because they've seen that. And I don't know if you ever thought that. It never crossed my mind that I was going to leave. But I don't know if you ever felt like, did you ever feel like, man, Danisha might not stick around?
No. I was holding on to the fact that you were there, and at some point I really didn't understand, because I knew our wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
So she had to take care of the finances. She had to get the food, which was normally my job, and she got to deal with the boys, and they were hard sometimes, and now she didn't pray with him though. But it was I didn't realize that I put pressure on her, and but sometimes it would be like a week or two before she come and see me.
No, it wasn't. No, not no week. I don't go no whole week. Maybe a couple. It might have felt like a week to you.
Oh.
But I ain't never go the whole week without
A week
seeing
and 2 weeks. That
you
what,
said a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah,
definitely not 2 weeks.
See, but see, I was holding on to her. But I saw her hand on that kept me going. And when I saw my boys, I needed them to come see me so I could keep doing what I was doing. I was doing somewhere in rehab that the nursing home used me to to raise money for the nursing home. I was like, what did they say? I was
like a spokesperson, because
yeah.
you was a successful going through the rehab.
Yeah. And I had to talk to people and everything. They took my picture. But I tell you, I needed her. I was in a room by myself, but then I got put in the room with somebody else, and I in a ministry to those people. And even though I was in a situation, God was still using me to help others. Yeah, and I think my ability to help others kind of hit me, because I wasn't thinking about myself. I'm thinking about others, and that really hit me. Man, this is so hard for me to talk about. But I had to talk about it, because a lot of you may be going into something similar. But hang in there with your spouse. You never know what plan God has for the both of you. You see this? We decided God Ministries, she and I were aiming to be used as an instrument of His glory.
Yeah, and not only that, to other couples you never know who's watching you, and so many people have said, like, from afar watching us, Even my sister I was talking to the other day was telling me that you know, she watches us and how she's inspired by how we stick together.
Yeah.
And you have to believe in the vision God gives you for your marriage.
Yeah.
Or, you know, if you don't, like these situations, it will tear you up, because you have to have some. I think you have to have something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
Because yourself it likes to protect self. And
Yeah.
you know, well, I didn't sign up for this, or I don't know if I can handle this or whatever. But I believe that God called us together not because we love each other, and I do love him.
I love you too.
But not just because of that, but for like a bigger purpose. And so that's one of the things I remember that night. When it first happened, and I went to your brother's house. I slept in the basement, and I talked to God, and I said, Lord, I just need you to be straight up, because you promised that me and my husband were going to do ministry together, that we were going to help couples. And so if you said all this, then he got to be here in order for this to happen. I talked to God and remembered the promises he told me. And when he confirmed and let me know, yes, that is going to happen. That thing, it gave me strength. It gave me power. Yes, I had moments that, it was hard, and it was hard, just seeing you go through that different transition.
Yeah.
Was definitely hard, but that's what I held on to. And you have to have a vision for your marriage, and you can't let anybody get in the way and separate you from the vision that God gave you for your marriage. The vision God gave me for this man right here. I always believed that he was anointed, that he was called to do great works for God, and I refuse to let the situation change that.
Yeah.
And God proved himself, and he brought it through. And then even after what seems like the worst of it, you still go through transition, because now I gotta kind of learn this person. I mean, it's 9 years later now.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I have to learn, kind of a new side of my spouse. Your voice changed.
Yeah.
Things that you were going through emotionally changed. And you have to really kind of reconnect after something like that. But it's all about commitment, and I meant what I said when I made those vows. I meant what I said, and I thank God he's the one that gave me the strength.
She's committed to me.
I sure
And I'm committed to her too.
Yes, you are. You better not try to go there.
Man, you talk about a vibe or die. I was on my deathbed, but she was still there. That's my that's why I think she came and see me 1 or 2 weeks, because each steamer just a long time.
It might have been maybe 2 days or something, and I would just be tired. But sometimes I wouldn't tell you. Towards the end, I would fast, and I didn't have the strength. But I didn't tell you. But I would fast, so I was like, God, I need my husband to come home. So I would fast some days.
He really is.
And so those days I just didn't have the strength to come up there. But no, I couldn't go no week without seeing you.
Oh, shoot. All right now, all right.
So we just wanted to let y'all in on the story. And oftentimes you would lift your hand up, but I was like, people may not know what happened, so as a result of the stroke, You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, this how when it really doesn't, but it moves a little bit, but I don't have the full capacity. My right arm.
and, so, oh my gosh. So yeah, we just wanted to let y'all in on one of the hardest times in our life.
Yeah.
And hopefully it encouraged you to stick together and just remember God's promise for your marriage.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to share?
No, that's it.
Okay, well thank you, babe, for sharing, because I know it's hard reliving what you went through during that time. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
I hope something that we shared helped you guys. Please share this video with friends, family. If you want to leave us a question or comment, let us know what you think. You can do that as well. And please follow us on our Facebook page at WDG Ministries. All right. We love you guys. Until the next time.
Peace.